Hello, everyone, and welcome to MeowMix, the Carolina Panthers podcast. My name is Steven. Jerry is not with me today. He actually went to the game, so my condolences to Jerry for having to go all the way uptown, sit outside in that beautiful weather, honestly. Best thing about today was the weather. But watch this just piss poor performance from our team. Panthers lose this one 24-6 to the Patriots. And I didn't think that things could get any worse for how I feel about this team after that 25-3 loss to the Giants. But this one doesn't feel good. If you needed any more proof that Sam Darnold is not the guy, you got it today. He looked terrible. Obviously, the game plan today, if you want to call it that, because offensively, I don't know what they were trying to do. It seemed like they wanted to kind of repeat the same thing they did last week with no changes. Great idea against Bill Belichick, by the way, is just to do exactly what you did the previous week, which was run the ball and don't let Sam Darnold do anything. Normally, not a bad solution because Sam Darnold, when he tries to do anything, seems to mess up terribly. But against a team like the Patriots, against that defense and a coach that's seen everything and knows how to stop everything, you have to try something different. You have to try something, right? And they run the ball on the first down, run the ball on second down, throw the ball on third down. Throw the ball on first down for 3 yards. Run the ball on second down. Then you're forced again to throw the ball on third down. It's probably every third down they seem to have to throw the ball because the first 2 plays that they didn't produce enough yards, if any. Not going to work. Not going to work against a team like the Patriots. They're well coached. I mean, again, we see week after week these coaches coming in and out coaching the Panthers. The Panthers started out 3-0 this season. We were all feeling pretty good. But when we look back on it against those teams, a rookie head coach in Saleh, a team that was missing half its coaching staff and, key players in the Saints, and then another rookie head coach in the Texans with a backup quarterback starting, that 3-0 was a mirage. And since then, we're 1-5. So this is the team now. This is what the Panthers are. And it's depressing. It really is. I hoped that Matt Rule would be the guy. A lot of hype coming in nationally, very well respected. A lot of teams wanted him. And there was some promise last year, even though the Panthers, went 5-11. There was promise towards the end of the season. You could see things kind of coming together. Obviously, the offense last year worked pretty well for the most part. I mean, they did some things. Teddy Bridgewater wasn't awful and melted down in the fourth quarter a lot. Wasn't able to win games for the Panthers, but you thought you could see the seeds, right? You could see something coming together. And this year, it's all falling apart. I don't know if the players just aren't buying in to what Matt Rule is selling. Joe Brady has zero creativity in his bones. There is nothing that he does that inspires any sort of, love from the fan base or excitement or, just enjoyment, I guess, of even watching the games. There's nothing there. He nothing fun. The team is not fun to watch. The defense is good. The defense is not the problem. The Panthers' defense in this game, they only gave up, 3 points in the second half? I mean, there was the interception return for the touchdown. Not on the defense, obviously. And then the field goal. That's it in the whole second half. And they, by the way, the Patriots had the ball a lot in the second half because Sam Darnold kept turning the ball over. But Defense not the problem here. Lots of playmakers on defense. Obviously, they've spent a lot of capital, draft capital, on the defense to build it up. The offense just they tried it with Darnold. We can't say it enough. Darnold not the guy that obviously they hoped he was going to be. Today, 16 for 33, 172 yards, 3 interceptions. Not going to kill him for the amount of times he had to throw the ball because, again, they got down and they tried to run the ball. Patriots were ready for it, and they had nothing. They couldn't figure out what to do. This offensive coaching staff for the Panthers, they could not figure out how to counteract what the Patriots were doing on defense. Panthers go up 3-0 early, just like in the Giants game. Early. It was in the second quarter, but they got the first points on the board. And from then on, it seemed like it was all Patriots. 14-6 at halftime, 24-6 at the end of the third quarter, because, of course, the Panthers can't do anything in any third quarter. And that's it. That's the ball game. 2 quarters. The only scoring in this game came in 2 quarters, the second and third quarter. And the Panthers outscored 24-6, and that's it. That's your ball game. So my condolences again to anybody that actually went to this game. I know, at the beginning of the season, well, preseason, I guess, this was the game we all circled. This was the Cam Newton revenge game. I guess then we hoped it was going to be the Stephon Gilmore revenge game. Stephon Gilmore had a nice interception in this game. Didn't play a ton. I didn't see him out there a lot. Curious to see the snap counts this week with him and McCaffrey. McCaffrey with 18 touches in this game in his first game back. Now it's not 30 touches, so that's progress. He was out there in the fourth quarter, got smacked hard, and thank God they got smart and took him out. He was out there, midway through the fourth quarter when this game was over, and he shouldn't have been out there. He got hit hard in the helmet. Glad they took him out, but he shouldn't have been in there in the first place. Don't know why they left Sam in. Why did they leave Sam Darnold in? After the third interception especially, he played the whole game. PJ nowhere to be seen. After PJ, by the way, took all the starting reps in practice this week. PJ was more prepared to play this game than Sam Darnold was, yet they didn't bring out PJ at all. I was hoping maybe in the second half, third quarter, they bring out PJ. Sam obviously ineffective in the first half. I took a screenshot of the box score at halftime. Sam Darnold, 5 of 12, 32 yards at halftime. Offense, doing nothing at halftime. Offense had 65 yards at halftime to 209 for the Patriots. 65 total yards at halftime for the Panthers. They left Sam in. Why? That's what I'm hoping. Jonathan Alexander, Joe Person, David Newton, all you guys, the new guy for the Observer, anybody that's doing this press conference, ask Matt Rule, what are you thinking, man? What was the game plan today, number one, offensively? Number two, why did you leave Sam in there after halftime when he's obviously ineffective? These are things I need to know. These are things that the fan base deserves to know. And you should be held accountable, Matt Rule, for how this game and the whole season really has gone so far. This is not what we were told. This is not what we were promised. This is not what we expected. It's not fun. It's not fun to be a Panthers fan right now. There's nothing to root for. We beat a bad Atlanta team last week. Big whoop. Who cares? They suck. They're not a good team. Better than us, except in that game, but they're not a good team. All right, key plays in this game. I got a couple of them. Third one is debatable, but we will say first key play here, actually a positive one for the Panthers. 3rd and 4 in the first quarter. Matt Jones sacked by Brian Burns, sack fumble. Burns got the ball, recovered it. Burns injured on the play, but was able to come back after that one. Burns injured again later in the game. So I kind of have to keep an eye on that, see what his status is going to be for next week. But beautiful play by Burns. Burns was all over the place in this game, even after he got hurt that first time. he had a really nice game. Frankie Louvu with the recovery, by the way. Frankie Louvu, the only former Jets player on this Panthers team who's worth a damn. Robbie Anderson, also done with you. I'm ready to just jettison every former Jets player that's on this roster outside of Frankie Louvu. Maybe even throw in these Temple players as well, except for Hassan Reddick, who's awesome. But yeah, I don't know. Why are we rating the Jets of all teams for players? That one I don't understand either. Second key play here. From now on they're all negative. Sam Darnold short pass. All right, we're in the red zone. Okay, we're at the 20-yard line. Third quarter. Pat's up 14-6. Still a one-score game. Sam Darnold rolls out, throws a pass right over the head of the intended receiver. Picked off by Jackson for the Patriots, 88 yards, touchdown. Game over at that point. Game over. Nothing else the Panthers would do the rest of the game, positively. That's it. Last play, you can choose. We can go with the interception in the end zone that Sam threw. We can go with the interception that he tried to get to Robbie Anderson that was picked off by Jamie Collins, which, by the way, hell of a catch by Jamie Collins. Oh, my God. He knew exactly what Sam was going to do. Snagged it right out of the air. One of the best interceptions I've seen from a guy playing that position. That was really nice. Maybe standing, 6 feet away from Sam Darnold, just snags it right out of the air. Beautiful play by Jamie Collins. But, second interception for Sam Darnold at that point. Then he throws another one in the end zone. Pass intended for DJ Moore, I believe. And that's it. That's your ball game. So Robbie Anderson got up in Sam's face, I guess, on the sideline, or was fussing at him. Robbie, you don't have any room to talk, man. You've been dropping passes all season. I watched you today not blocking, jogging down the field. When Sam's in trouble, rolling out or something, you're not coming back to get the ball. What are you doing out there, man? You got paid. Play like you deserved it. You've been, shitty all season long. You've been terrible. You are part of the problem. You are not part of the solution. What's going to happen next week? I don't know. Are we going to PJ next week? Does that give anybody confidence? Anybody excited about that out there? I'm not. PJ sucks too. Definitely don't want to see Sam out there again. I don't know. I have no words. It's... What can you do? I didn't expect the Panthers to have a winning season. When we did our preseason prediction show, I think I picked them to go 7-10 or 8-9. But I was hoping that this first half of the season, which played out very favorably for the Panthers schedule-wise, would look good. And that they would hang tough in games on the second half of the season when the schedule gets much tougher. But they have crapped the bed here in the first half of the season. And now they've got the second half of the season coming up the schedule with teams that are much tougher than what they've gotten so far. Are the Panthers going to win 6 games this season? I don't know. What would they be? 6-11, I guess. 5-12. The 17 games kind of screws with me, but I don't know what to expect. But let's go down the list of some statistics here and kind of see what these guys look like. Sam, obviously, we talked about 16-33, 172 yards, 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. It didn't even look that good. Those stats sound better than what he looked like. He got a lot of yardage on the last couple of drives and garbage time where the Patriots were just sitting back in prevent. Finally started throwing the ball to McCaffrey in the second half. Where was that in the first half? You've got your biggest receiving weapon back, outside of DJ Moore, but DJ Moore hasn't been effective the last few games. You've got McCaffrey back, who changes the way a defense has to play when he's out there catching passes. It does open up things for those receivers, but you're not even involving him in the receiving game until the very end of the game, it seemed like. McCaffrey, 14 rushes for 52 yards, 4 receptions for 54 yards. So he comes back, 18 touches, passes 100 total yards. Looked explosive, looked good. Only had, a 10-yard run was his biggest play. In the running game, he had a 21-yard reception. But, again, feels like he's back. He's came out of the game healthy, thank goodness. It seems. We'll see. But DJ Moore, 2 rushes for 14 yards. DJ Moore was our second leading rusher in this game. Okay? That tells you, with 14 yards, if that tells you how the game went. Sam Darnold, 3 for 9. Chuba, 3 for 3. Amir, 1 for 0. Chuba not involved in the running game at all. Chuba did have 1 nice reception, 1 for 33 on 2 targets. So Chuba with 4 touches in the game that McCaffrey comes back. Thought that we were going to keep rotating these guys. Okay? Didn't happen. Other running backs, McCaffrey with 14 carries. All other running backs, a total of 4 carries. Okay. Looking at the receptions, McCaffrey again 4 for 54. Chuba 1 for 33. DJ 3 for 32 on 7 targets. Amir Abdullah 4 for 30. At least Amir was involved in the receiving game a little bit more. Ian Thomas 1 for 9. Willie Snead got in the game at the end of the game, 1 for 6. Trimble 1 for 6. Robbie Anderson 1 for 2 on 3 targets. Terrace Marshall 1 target on a terribly designed play on a 3rd down early in the game. And you knew right then that they were not going to give Sam any opportunity to throw the ball past the line of scrimmage, pretty much. More than 5 yards past the line of scrimmage. And the Patriots knew that all day long. And that's why the Panthers couldn't do anything on offense. There was no creativity in this game plan. It was as vanilla as it gets. And if that's what you have to do for Sam shouldn't be out there. Call up Cam Newton. Put in P.J. Walker. Give me something else to look at. Cam Newton's not coming back. We all know that. But he would at least give you something to look forward to watching every week. Sam Darnold gives you nothing. This offense gives you nothing. Oh, man. Jeremy Chin led the team in tackles with 11. Shaq Thompson had 10. A couple of sacks in this game. 1 from Burns, which we talked about earlier. Reddick also had another sack. Reddick is just a sack machine. Really proving that year last year he had was not a fluke. He is the real deal. Jermaine Carter with 6 tackles. I mean, nobody else really stood out. You had Gilmore with the interception. Secondary, was okay. I mean, the defense was good in this game. Only gave up, 17 points? And this is a team, the Patriots, that has scored a decent amount of points over the last few games when it wasn't, a torrential downpour. So, I mean, you're looking at their, 25 points, 29 points, 54 points, 27 points. So it's a defense or an offense that can score. Looking at the Patriots, Mac Jones, 12 of 18, 139, a touchdown, an interception. They probably played the game that the Panthers wanted to play and couldn't. They didn't let Mac Jones do anything that would lose them the game. He did have the interception to Gilmore. Looked like it was a pick play. The receiver fell down. Gilmore ran the route, essentially. And I don't know why Gilmore wasn't out there more, if he's still not fully healthy. but he's making plays when he is out there. So I'm hoping that he continues to stay healthy or get healthier, or get more familiar with the defense. Whatever needs to happen for him to be on the field more, that needs to happen. The running game was really where the running backs, I should say, not necessarily the running game, but the running backs were unstoppable. Panthers had no answer for them. Stevenson, 10 carries, 62 yards. Brandon Bolden, 8 carries, 54 yards. Those guys had huge averages. And Longs of only 16 and 13, so it's not like they broke off a huge one to skew their numbers. They ran the ball really well. Damian Harris ran the ball like crap, 15 for 30, but he did get a touchdown. But then in the receiving game, Stevenson 2 for 44, Brandon Bolden 2 for 27, and those were meaningful catches that they had. Kendrick Bourne 3 for 34, Hunter Henry 2 for 19, Jacoby Myers 1 for 8, Johnny Smith 1 for 4, Damian Harris 1 for 3. Receiving wise, it was tight ends and running backs. The wide receivers for New England didn't do much either. So neither wide receiver core in this game had much going on. It was running backs, especially for New England, doing all the damage offensively in this game. And again, looking at their defensive numbers, Adrian Phillips with 6 tackles leads the team. They had 1 sack on Matthew Judon, kind of caught Sam. But only 3 quarterback hits, too. Panthers only had 2 quarterback hits, both of them on the sacks. So neither team really getting to the quarterback. But I have a theory that the Patriots, they didn't really have much incentive to sack Sam Darnold because he does more for them by actually throwing the ball. They are able to score points with Sam Darnold throwing the ball, and the Panthers weren't. So why would you sack him? Let him just put a little bit of pressure on him, let him throw the ball. Again, 2 interceptions for Jackson. Jamie Collins had the really nice interception. Just kicking the ball. Zane Gonzalez, 2 for 2. All the points again this week for Zane Gonzalez. Nick Folk was 1 for 2, missed a 50-plus yarder. Punting, Lachlan Edwards again had a nice game. Had a long of 59, averaged 51.3 on his 4 punts. I think Charlton's days are numbered as a Panther. So just kind of looking at the team stats here. Again, we kind of talked about the first half stats, but they don't get much better in the second half for the Panthers. 3 for 11 on third down for the game for the Panthers. Patriots went 6 for 14. Again, the Panthers stepped up in the second half defensively. The Patriots had nothing going on offensively in the second half. If the Panthers could have come out offensively in the second half and done anything, this is a ball game, and it's fun to watch, and it's interesting. 10 penalties for the Panthers in this game for 83 yards. 6 for 35 for the Patriots. A lot of penalties in this game. A couple of penalties that were very questionable on the Panthers. That pass interference on Deshaun Jackson I thought was pretty questionable. There was a late hit out of bounds on DJ Moore that was not called. I thought should have been called. There was a hold on a kickoff, I think, or there was a hold somewhere that was pretty big that should have been called. So they missed a few out there, but still 16 total penalties in this game is a lot, and it wasn't a lot of fun to watch. 273 total yards for the Patriots to 240 for the Panthers. Again, a lot of that in garbage time. That seems closer than it really was if you watch the game. You guys all watched the game. We all saw what we saw. So 0 for 2 in the red zone for the Panthers. This is the Matt Rule coach Panthers. They can't score in the red zone. Maybe what Teddy said, that they didn't practice red zone, maybe he's telling the truth. Maybe Matt Rule, Joe Brady don't know what to do in the red zone. Something has to change. We've now seen this pretty much 6 weeks in a row. We've got 1 win in there against Atlanta. Again, a team that's not very good. And it wasn't a super convincing win. I don't know, guys. Heroes and zeros. Hero of the game, I'm just going to give it to Burns because he didn't stop playing in the fourth quarter. He's still out there making plays, hitting hard. Unfortunately got hurt again, but hoping that he's okay. But yeah, he's going to get the hero of the game for me. Zero of the game, I mean, take your pick. Sam is the obvious one. Robbie Anderson again, pretty obvious one. Joe Brady, Matt Rule. Yeah, I mean, I think those are, we're going to do a Mount Rushmore of zeros, and that's it. In terms of I don't even remember what our predictions or our beer bet was. I think our beer bet was whether the Panthers would win in this game. Jerry chose the Patriots, I know his prediction was the Patriots won by at least, I think it was maybe a touchdown or two. So he definitely got that one. I had the Panthers winning. I think I had the Panthers winning 24-23 or something. So, yeah, Jerry wins that. But, yeah, I mean, where do we go from here? I think it's going to be interesting to see this week if they bring in another quarterback. Who is there? We talked about in our quarterback show a couple of weeks or last week. We talked about all the free agents that are out there, the guys on practice squads. There's only one that would make a difference, and they're not going to bring him in, Cam. So I don't know what they do. I think we're just SOL for the rest of the season. We're just going to have to watch this train wreck week after week and hope that Christian McCaffrey stays healthy so something fun is on the field. Willie Snead, I mean, maybe he can do something. I don't know. It's depressing. Why do we watch? Why would you want to pay to go to a game? I have no interest in going to a game. I really don't. Just looking at the NFC South here. Let's see. Atlanta hung on to beat New Orleans. They almost blew that game. They were up, 17-3 going into the fourth quarter, and Trevor Siemian and Taysom Hill almost brought them back. But Atlanta holds on to win. So Panthers, once again, in the basement of the NFC South. Bucks are off this week. So a lot of strange games this week. Cincinnati got whooped again. So now they've fallen to 5-4? 5-4 now. So they started off pretty hot. Cincinnati's coming back to earth a little bit. Cleveland 41-16 in that one. What was the other one? The Dallas game was kind of weird. Just looking for it here. 30-16. Denver beats Dallas. Teddy leads the mighty Denver Broncos past Dallas. So Denver now 5-4. Dallas falls to 6-2. That was an interesting one. Didn't expect to see that. So yeah, a little bit. Also, Jacksonville beats Buffalo 9-6. Where did that one come from? Buffalo's high-powered offense getting shut down by the Jacksonville Jaguars. Is Jacksonville 2-0? No, 2-1, I guess, since Urban Meyer Gate. Maybe they needed that. I don't know. That's kind of weird. The Giants beat Las Vegas. Kind of a weird week. Doesn't make me feel any better about the Panthers losing, but again, last week was a weird week and this week is a weird week. So I don't know what to tell you guys. It's not fun to be a Panthers fan right now. There's nothing to root for. What are we excited about every week? Watching the defense? If they're going to be out on the field so much, I think it was 34 minutes of possession for the Patriots or something. They're going to end up getting worn down. And if they're getting the ball, the opposing offenses are getting the ball in decent field position, which they did to start this game a lot. They were starting around midfield. Every possession, it seemed like. The defense isn't going to be able to hold that every time. We have to be realistic. Best defense in the history of the game is going to give up points in that scenario. So I don't know what we do, but we'll be back on sometime this week to talk preview for the next game. Hopefully the Panthers maybe make a move or two and bring in some competition for Sam, or we hear something about Sam being benched for next week. I doubt it. I have a feeling he'll be out there throwing interceptions again next week. But we'll see. Please like and subscribe on YouTube. Check out Apple Podcasts for the show. Leave a comment. MeowMix mailbag at meowmixpodcast.com is the email address. Hit us up on Twitter at meowmixpodcast and everything else. You guys know where to find us by now. Until then, stay safe out there and keep pounding.